Why is it difficult to remain in the present? Perhaps it is actually easy to remain in the present, but it is easier to leave it. It is only difficult when compared to alternatives. What does this tell us we could do if we decide we prefer to stay in the present? Simply stated, it says that we could reconstruct our thinking and our habits that arise from our thoughts so that it is more difficult to leave the present than to stay. But how could this be accomplished? The most important tool might be to strengthen one's awareness so that one can be aware of one's thoughts and for what purpose one is thinking those thoughts. One can have sufficient awareness to realize that they've left the present moment, but insufficient awareness to realize it as soon as it happens. You can see the problem of delayed awareness if you've ever driven home and once there, you didn't recall anything about the trip, as if you were on autopilot. Or, another example, if you've ever found yourself standing in the bathroom with a dirty dish, trying to figure out just what you're trying to do exactly. So sometimes you arrive where you intended, yet other times not so much. And in the driving example, you arrived seemingly without effort, but it was because of all your past driving habits, presumably good, that took over for you and facilitated your safe arrival. And in the dirty dish, wrong room example, your past habits of walking from one room to another also took over, but they were overlapping at certain points. And so, while on autopilot and lacking awareness, one habit dominated the other. And so it finished the job, which turned out not to be desired. This wrong turn could also happen in the car, and sometimes does. But the drive home is a strong habit, and so it usually performs without fail. The thinking habits of the mind work in a similar fashion. Just like at any time during your autopilot drive home, you resumed your awareness, you could then decide to go to the store first, to get some milk. Likewise, if your awareness is strong enough, you could stop one thought process and start another. For example, say you have a tendency to become upset once someone talks to you a certain way or says some type of thing to you. You may have practiced it for so long, and the habit has become so strong that you go into autopilot once triggered by the stimulus. And you may have enough awareness to realize afterwards not only what you did, but also that you wish you hadn't, but not enough awareness to see it coming and so be able to decide to do it or not. You may also have enough awareness to know you are doing it while you are doing it. But the autopilot is stronger than your willpower to stop it. Powerful indeed. Further still, you may even develop enough awareness to see it coming, and yet still lack the willpower to prevent the autopilot program from running. But you may say, yeah, but I have good willpower. And the brain responds, yeah, but I have a program to run. Sometimes the main program requires a pre-program in order to run. That is not to be confused with the stimulus from another person. This pre-program is some preliminary thought pattern that is engaged in that primes the pump, so to speak, for the main program. The pre-program doesn't take as much willpower to stop as one is closer to baseline levels in terms of emotions being lit up. It is once the main program starts that the emotions are sufficiently lit up and so therefore more difficult to bring to a stop. The pre-program is the emotional foreplay of the main program, setting the mood for a real good show. The awareness, therefore, should be strengthened to such extent that it can first be able to see that the pre-program was ran. Secondly, the awareness should be strengthened sufficiently to see that the pre-program is being ran. Thirdly, the awareness should be strengthened such that one can see the point just prior to the pre-program being ran. And, for the purposes of this scenario, the awareness should finally be strengthened to such degree that one is able to see the pre-program well in advance of it being ran. The 4 levels of awareness accomplish the following, from lower awareness to higher awareness. First, start to associate the pre-program that was just ran with the negative thoughts and feelings that one may have as a result. Secondly, start to associate the pre-program that is being ran with the negative thoughts and feelings that one is simultaneously experiencing with the pre-program as it is running. Thirdly, start to associate the pre-program that is just about to be ran with the negative thoughts and feelings one predicts oneself to have if the pre-program is ran,
but with little advanced preparation time.
And lastly, similar to the previous awareness, start to associate the pre-program that might run sometime in the future with the negative thoughts and feelings one predicts oneself to have if the pre-program is ran, but in this case, there is more time to prepare for such an event. As each level of association is strengthened, one will link the pre-programmed behavior with the final destination, which one has already determined to be undesirable, namely, the negative thoughts and feelings. And just as when one arrives in the bathroom with a dirty dish, and one raises one's awareness such that they see the common precipitating factor leading to the undesired destination, that newly increased awareness slowly drifts into more and more awareness, moving the awareness closer and closer to the present moment, from an awareness that was further in the past. And, following this progression, one can see that one's awareness can become strong enough in the present moment that it can then extend into the future as well. This scenario is the fourth scenario of increased awareness from earlier, which is strong enough to predict future events based on current events. The key here is that if one envisions the past, present, and future as a timeline horizontally, and one also envisions the strength of one's awareness as some width of space on that timeline, one can see how awareness can permeate into the future. But herein lies the problem. In order to change our programmed behavior, we must leave the present moment to analyze the past, and we must also leave the present and go to the future to help predict it. The important distinction to make here, when compared to other trips to the past or future, is that the proposed journeys of increased awareness are being undertaken in order to alter one's behavior such that it accommodates a more pleasant and desirable destination. And in this way, one starts ending up in the kitchen with a dirty dish and not in the bathroom. And just as the habit of driving home has become quite strong, so too can one's habits also be strengthened to such extent that one begins to effortlessly arrive in places they are happy to be. And so if one has consistently arrived at an undesired location, one first becomes aware that it is undesired. Then one becomes aware that they are currently driving there yet again. Then one sees that they are opening the door to the car and are about to head to that place. And lastly, one sees their vehicle across the parking lot and knows where they will drive the car. Unlikely will it be for this final person to drive to that undesired location. But if their awareness has left for some amount of time, but is then regained while in the car and driving to the bad location, even then they can stop the car, pause, and choose a different destination.